This holiday shopping season, Americans were projected to spend 7% more than last year. But our Paul Salman was alerted to a social media trend that, in a world of consumerism, hits pause before pressing the purchase button.
Get ready with me to go on a shopping spree.
The perennial end-of-year messages we've just had to endure in print, on TV, and all over social media. Buy away, buy away, buy away all.
Let's do the biggest shopping haul ever!
We're gonna go self-care shopping at Sephora, Ulta, Target.
This is everything that I got. Let's go through it quickly.
But here's what's also been trending this year. Hashtag underconsumption core.
I wanted to show you stuff that I've had for literal decades. My Chi hair straightener from 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. Still works great.
Counter-trender Diana Wiebe was posting videos like this one.
You can see I've hit pan on a couple of my faves, but it's still good. It's rejecting what influencers and the companies behind them are trying to get you to do, which is buy more and buy it right now.
It's a younger generation's reaction to America's throwaway culture. Buy less, repurpose, shop vintage, instead of plunging reflexively for...
I'm just gonna be the first one to say it, I guess. Garbage.
Of course, Wiebe is hardly the first to say it, or the first to push underconsumption.
I don't think it's new at all. It's what we have called in the past living within our means.
Brett House, economics professor at Columbia University's Business School.
I think it's worth noting that if there's underconsumption happening anywhere, it's almost certainly for people at lower incomes who are facing greater challenges in covering their day-to-day needs. If we look at past cycles between booms and recessions, in the wake of any slowdown, we have seen people focus more on cleaning up their debt, reducing consumption, and aligning expenses with their incomes.
Same for garbage products made to expire.
We've seen products with defined life cycles hit the market for decades.
Built-in obsolescence, it's called, a term coined nearly a century ago. But hey, how better to keep the hamster wheel of consumerism spinning? Problem is, says Wiebe, it's getting worse.
I have seen a decline in quality just over my lifetime. I'm only 30 years old, but I can see when things are not made as well as they once were.
And online shopping has never been easier. One click, payment info already saved, for products increasingly pushed by influencers posing as your friends.
TikTok just sent me a notification that the Juvia's Place blush is $9. Go get it right now, bestie.
They see people having the newest water bottles, the newest fashion, the newest shoes or handbags, and they want those things.
Consumer researcher Melissa Bublitz.
This idea of advertising is not new, but I think what is new is the amount of time and the wide variety of exposure that our young people have to this influencer culture.
Look, way back in 1960, the waste makers urged resistance to built-in obsolescence in the spirit of sustainability. 2 years later, Dr. Seuss rhymed about the exhausted Zizzerzoof salesman. All day they've raced round in the heat at top speeds, unsuccessfully trying to sell Zizzerzoof seeds, which nobody wants because nobody needs.
We as consumers in, more privileged countries buy 5 times more clothing today than we bought in 1990, which means that something has changed in our buying habits as well.
That beautiful sweater you're wearing, how long have you had that?
8 going on 9 years, maybe?
Aja Barber is the author of Consumed, a critique of what we buy and how it's created.
I've always shopped secondhand. It just wasn't very cool. I remember getting clothing from eBay in the early 2000s when I was a university student and keeping that a bit of a secret from some of my peers who would think it was icky. So it's always been the way some of us have done it. It's just now become a part of a larger conversation on a planet that is in duress.
As it turns out, 92 million tons of clothing end up in landfills every year. And every year, automation will make products, this shirts say, cheaper. Not to mention overproduction that's already peddled at absurdly low prices by Chinese e-commerce companies like Temu and AliExpress, all of which leading to more waste.
Looking at all of the clothing that was being pushed on myself and others, I began to wonder where this clothing was going. I soon learned that there are places in the global south that end up with mountains of our clothing, and it is not something that is needed or wanted.
So I do see, just in my own interactions with people who I'm talking to, that they want to consume less. They want to be more mindful of when they're being advertised to.
Diana Wiebe's following has swelled from 1,000 to more than 200,000, the meme prompting more than 20,000 posts on TikTok alone. But here's the rub. It hasn't made much of an impact on overall consumer spending, says researcher Bublitz.
We don't see consumption going down. In fact, our population's growing by less than 1%, but our consumer spending is growing, at least 5%.
If anything, we've seen slightly higher than normal consumption, not underconsumption in the big numbers we look at.
But it's still a perfectly good mug.
So, is the meme all for naught? No, insists de-influencer Wiebe.
So my hope is that people don't necessarily treat it as underconsumption core as a trend, but rather just like, my normal lifestyle is not buying things instantaneously or in great quantities.
For the PBS NewsHour, Paul Salman, a bit bummed to have overconsumed yet again this year while doing this very story.